Hello. Don't know if you guys have noticed, but something happened yesterday, over the last couple of days. Stephen Wolfram of Wolfram Alpha and other services. Is my tablet not working? Believes that he has a kind of unified theory of physics, which he did a live stream last night, and he might be right. He might be wrong. It's really hard to tell. So I thought I'd spend some time today just going through it to the kind of level of detail that I can easily understand, or can plausibly understand, and try and get an understanding of it. So you can find this at wolframphysics.org, or just type Wolfram Physics Project in. I think you'll see a lot of this over the next few days. This graph has been very widely shared, and honestly at the moment I don't yet understand it fully. I understand some of the bits of it, I think. And my very simple understanding of it is it's kind of patterns of rules. You could see it as weaving patterns that add up to making something that represents physics. So, I'm just going to read out loud. I hope you like my voice. Scary. I never expected this. It's unexpected, surprising, and for me incredibly exciting. I've been working towards this for nearly 50 years. In the last few months, it's finally come together. It's the ultimate question in natural science. How does our universe work? Oops, didn't mean to put that. Is there a fundamental theory? Yep, that's kind of it. People are going to be asking in these next few years, like, why didn't other people come up with this? And honestly, it's because when you're working in physics, you don't get to explore physics because you're too busy working in it. Most days I spend moving galaxies around, and whilst I love to think about the fundamentals of why does gravity behave the way it does, it's not really what I'm paid to do. So I guess the general public, they might not know who Stephen Wolfram is. He makes Wolfram Alpha and Wolfram Mathematica and what he thinks he calls computational knowledge engines. And he is quite keen to solve computers. He actually wrote a book called A New Kind of Science, or wrote a bit of a book called A New Kind of Science. So, I'm skipping ahead. In the early 1980s, started studying the computational universe of simple programs. So, okay, so this whole book is online. That's cool. Some people might have to be doing a lot of reading in the next few weeks. That's good, that's nice. I just, so many hours in a day. Even underlying rules for a system are even when the underlying rules for a system are extremely simple, the behaviour of that system as a whole can be essentially arbitrarily rich and complex. And this got me thinking. So this is basically chaos. This is simple rules leading into complex outcomes. This got me thinking, could the universe work this way? That there is a finite set of simple rules, even if the outcomes are complex. I should say, I watched a bit of his live stream last night, and I'm excited by this. This sounds like language. Let's go a bit bigger. This sounds like language close to my heart. So, this way of thinking about the fundamentals of physics is slightly different from those who kind of want a beautiful, harmonious rule. This will never be like, oh, everything happens for this reason and we can see why. This will be okay, we actually know the tools that the universe builds itself from, and then we look at the universe and it's that complex. So these two physicists kind of found out about this from him at a summer school. And so he started putting together some small rules. Now we still, at this point, haven't really discussed what rules are. We'll get to that. They started finding things that looked like space-time, relativity, and quantum mechanics. We'll get to the definition of what energy is, but I like his definition of what energy is. It fits quite well with my picture of it. He's certain. Wow. There's a lot of both kind of blind love and blind hate of Stephen Wolfram that I'm seeing in social media. Hate and love are too strong, but like and dislike. Okay, we are getting to it. Cool. One thing worth always saying is that scientists are often some of the middle of the pack explainers of their science. Certainly true of me. I'm better at explaining other people's science often than my own. feel like he feels like physicists are going to feel attacked, and they are. Most academics are terrified of being wrong, looking foolish, losing their jobs. So yeah, there will be some pushback against this, even if it like quite clearly is a really good approach. For anyone who's hoping for in the next few days, a kind of neat proof or a neat disproof, we might be thinking about this as a theory for decades before we know for certain, but we might not. We'll see. So they have some hints of some things experimentally testable. Great. So, he's written a 500-page document. Someone else has written 120 pages of it. It's a lot on the website. But let's start from the very beginning. We're going to call it graphs. This is effectively rules for making particular drawings. So we have, let's just write this down on the screen. We have the rules at the moment. 1 goes to 2, 2 goes to 3, 3 goes to 4, and 2 goes to 4. Which gives us our graph that looks like. So I'm going to get rid of this because it's actually written down nicely in this graph here, and also just too much in the middle of the page. So yeah, one thing is that the order of this doesn't matter. I'm just going to pick up on things that I recognise as I go. They're not necessarily the crucial details, they're just ones I recognise. But if somebody told me that 2 goes to 3, and 3 goes to 4, and 1 goes to 2, I could draw this in any shape, and I could also be told these instructions in any way, and I'd still get to the same thing. The last thing they tell me is 2 goes to 4. I get the same graph. Like, it's a little bit of moving it around to get it into the same state, but we get pretty much the same thing. So it's the operations, not their order, that matter, which seems good for physics. So we've got a possible rule. So we've got x goes to y, and x goes to z, and then that transitions to x goes to z, x goes to w, y goes to w, and z goes to w. Interesting. I have no idea what this means yet, but you know, just working it out as we go. So pick 2 relations. Where 2 things go to y and z. So what could these 2 things be? Could these be a rule like Can we think of this as the operation of squaring and cubing? And then if this is the operation of to the fourth power, these could, or so to the fifth power, this could be squaring and cubing, and this. How have we got to y over here? I'm not sure. I'm not sure that I get it yet. If there's a match, place these two relations, the four relations on the right. The W that appears as a new element is being created, and the only requirement is that it's distinct from all other elements. Okay, so this is a remapping of the graph I've got here. Okay, so now we're going to try and do it with this graph. So let's get rid of these guys. And we're going to change rules for this graph that we had at the beginning. So 1 still goes to 2. 2 still goes to 4. 3 still goes to 4. And then let's put 5 up here. Get basically the graph they get. And 2 goes to 5. 3 goes to 5. And 4 goes to 5. And then we can apply the rule over and over. I'm a little confused as to how we can apply it over and over. Are we taking some subset of it and applying it to that? Like, how do... How is this graph also... What? So we just end up here. I am confused, but that is going to happen. Learning a new thing takes time and effort and energy. Okay, so if we have 3 things, we can actually use it to define a surface. Whoa. Okay, let's try and draw this out. So I know we've got a picture of it here. Let's scroll up so I can't see that picture. And check if we get the same picture. I've no idea if people coming across this are going to be people who have who've done thousands of hours of maths in their life or 20 minutes of maths in their life. One good thing is just to always look for that's ugly as hell. I want a way of drawing this just with a pencil, so let's change this to actual arrowheads. And I'm going to draw this when it's representing a surface, maybe. So we're going from x, y, and z to W to... I don't really need to draw the nodes, do I? I can just draw the letters. W to x to z. And the whole thing's a surface. And W to W to Y. And is there a way to see that as a surface? He's done it by kind of filling in this bit. Okay. So I think we're saying anytime we have something that looks like that, we can transform it into something that looks like this. So if we start with 0, 0, 0, maybe I'll do a dotted line for those actually. 0, 0, 0. Then this is equivalent to 0 just links to itself and links to itself. Let's do a free line. So this is okay. I'm going to put a dot in the middle of surfaces. That's what I'm going to do. Probably change that again in a sec. Maybe even a little cross. God knows. Let's also get rid of this. So instead now I want something new, which let's just call it 1. Goes to 0. This is the thing representing W, which goes back to itself, because this is the thing representing X. X was 0, goes back to 0. Also W goes back to itself, and also goes to Y, because Y was 0, and then we also need all these hyperplanes. You're going to leave them out for the moment. Okay, at this point, x, y, z equals 0 and w equals 1. So can we find a structure like this in here? Well, yeah, we can make this loop into it, can't we? So we do need something with at least 2 arrows pointing into it to do this. Or we could do it with, for example, this is a loop like that. I'm a little confused because there's a lot of options here. I'm pretty sure we're breaking up this loop here, but like this is x to y to z. But so is this is x to y to z. particularly simple collection. I think I'm going to need to go to the textbook of this. I'm finding this blog post kind of confusing. I think it's trying to do more than I'm able to compute at this moment. Or maybe come back to it. It's completely possible that my puny brain is not going to manage to understand any of this. Can we get rid of this? Oh, that's the left and right. Okay, we're going to need my head over here. Then we can go a bit bigger. And let's just get this out of the way. Oh, what have I done? How did I do that? And we're ready. So I gave up at some point for like short term, didn't have the energy, didn't have a way to get at it in thinking of or hoping for a theory of everything. I would argue that in a way I have been working on a theory of everything for a while, but it's a kind of theory of everything where you get to the end and you're like, oh, okay, so everything is confusing and complex. Quantum mechanics and general relativity have introduced a lot, but they haven't given chances are that whatever comes out of this, we're going to have a new branch of maths. So one question will be, is it produce the things that truly are perfect representations of this, or look roughly like it? I'm trying really hard, by the way, not to do any presupposing that I understand or can confirm or deny any of this theory. That's going to take a lot of thought. One nice way that I like to think about physics recently that I've been enjoying as a thought is, if rather than seeing the whole universe as propagating through time, you see it as the universe is an object which repeatedly asks, what should I look like next? And the answer is almost always pretty much what I looked like before, with just a little bit extra thrown in. I'm going to have this here. Where? Here? Fine. Do you agree with this, that the simplicity will be on scale such that we don't necessarily have the ability to perceive it? And we want minimal and structureless models. Love it. He's basically writing rules such that the universe can be an emergent property of some simple rules. I'm in. Okay. So the whole of the introduction. Yeah. Identical but labelled discrete elements. So the labelling is important. labels are telling us kind of how to move around this graph. So again, just as we're seeing, 1 goes to 2, 2 goes to 3, 1 goes to 3, and 4 goes to 1. The order in which all the relations are stated is irrelevant, but the order in which each relation is stated is relevant. There's directionality to each one of these, but we could have written 4 goes to 1 at the very beginning and we'd have got the same result. So this is enough to specify this graph. I think that's that's about as far as I've got so far. I'm like, yeah, okay. If you told me this, I could draw this graph for you. It just matters that a particular element always refers to, a particular label always refers to the same element. So let's just draw this rule. It's A goes to B becomes A goes to C, C goes to B. No, why did I? No, sorry, that's actually wrong. A goes to B, and then B goes to C. And so we could extend this in a few different ways now. We could extend it by adding something here. So we could get A goes to B, goes to beta, goes to C. Or we could extend it by adding something at the end. A goes to B, goes to C, goes to, let's call it gamma. So we get kind of choices we can make of where to apply these rules, seemingly. Other things seemingly, I should stop doing quite so much prevaricating. Label for the new element could be anything. Here we'll use 3. We could operate from 1 to 2, but we can't label that 3. Oh, so do we have both possibilities? We have, so we start with A goes to B, then A goes to B goes to C, and now we have A goes to B goes to a new thing, which is 4 in this language, but I probably should have used 4. We also have, we still have this, and this goes to E. Which means if we did it again, we'd have A goes to B, goes to, let's call it E, why not? No, we've already got an E, let's call it F. Still goes to D, and now that D can be extended, so that could go to G. Still goes to C, so now that could be extended, so that now goes to H. Still goes to E, and that can be extended to I. Maybe? So that's this graph. So then we get to this one. Is that what we're seeing here? 1, 6, 4, 7. All these labels are swappable as long as they behave right. 8. Yep, okay. Cool. So we do all the possible things at once, at each step. That helps make more sense of it. I would argue quite strongly that this should be going off to the right, I guess they're always counting in length. So we could see this as, look at this. I'm going to label the length of each span. We've got 1, 2, 2, 3, 2, 3, 3, 2, 4. We'll always have, we maybe shouldn't label the 0th step. We'll always have the possibility for a 2, because it's just branch off the 1, 2. We never lose a branch, but we can gain whole branches where, so what we have here is this shape pinned on here, and we've got the same shape here, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5. And we would keep on getting this, like the next one we would have lengths 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5. In this branch, then we would have 3, 4, 4, no, just 2 4s. There might be another one in here that I've missed. Work it out for yourselves. 5, 5, 6, and then we'd have one last branch, which would be 4, 5, 5, 6, 6, 7, I think. If you are playing along at home with pen and paper, you can try and work that out while I keep on reading. Okay, let's check that, if we got what we said. So, this is going to be hell to read, but 2, 3, 3, 4. No, I missed some steps. Because in here we have the 3, 4, 4, 5. So that's, that 5 is that one, that 2 is that one. Let's restart over here. We then have, this will just be all of this plus 1. 3, 4, 4, 5. Then again, 4, 5, 5, 6. So that's that one to that one, and then over here we've got, starts with 3, 3, 4, 4, 5. 4, 5, 5, 6. Then 4, 5, 5, 6, 5, 6, 6, 7. So we have lots of connections of this little group of x, x plus 1, x plus 2. No, sorry, x plus 1, x plus 1, x plus 2. If we actually say, if we kind of do Fibonacci sequence and we say that we have to start with we could say we have to start with this one, but then we're 3 steps in before we can start. So this is the first time that it actually fills that form before it's still growing to it. So the first one is so it does have to grow up to it. You could start this with any number and it wouldn't be there immediately. If you start it with the 1, it does depend on the starting additions. Oops. Get to here. So why do we get this exactly? This form x plus 1, x plus 2. x plus 1, x plus 1, x plus 2. Well, we're going to start here. You can just take the old path and add a copy. You basically just take the old path and add a copy, don't you? Take the old thing, add a copy. Take the old thing, add a copy. Take the old thing, add a copy. Which makes sense because that's what we're doing. Interesting. I'm not so convinced that it's as clear as I'm saying it, but it kind of, I see a symmetry. Let's keep going. So it's generating a binomial tree. Okay, I believe you. So yeah, this is a different rule because we switched the order. It was x going to y, now it's y going to x. Let's keep testing ourselves on it, see if we can do it. So 1 goes to 2, then we get 2 goes to 1, 3 goes to 2, then we can flip this one around, so we get the new thing goes to the thing that was gone to, so we get, let's call it 3. We're going to want it. We have a nice number. So we get 3 goes to 1 goes to 2, but also we can look at 3 to 2 and we can branch off that now. Can't call it 3, we already have a 3. 4 goes to this and 5 goes to 2. So that looks right. Then, how many of these are we going to get? Alright, let's do it. One goes to 4. Something else comes in here. So 6. That's what happens to that example of this example of this, what happens to it? One's going to go to 2. The thing that I'm always struggling with is where it attaches. It attaches to the Y. Two goes to 1. And 7 goes to it. 3 goes to 2 and 8 goes to it, and 2 goes to 5 and 9 goes to it. Ugly, but let's see if we agree. So that's our 2, this one in the middle. Yep, then at this side we've got that 6 going to 1, 1 going to 4. That's 2 going to the 1, 2's off to 5, 2's has 7 and 9 coming in, and 8, 3, 2. Cool. Cool. Starting to work out how to construct these. Hey, how you doing? I'm on and off. I'm managing like 1 or 2 hours of streaming a day. And yeah, I took the colour out. I can't remember why, but I did it and now it's done. Things have happened. Not really. Not that much has happened. I have a drawing pad now, which I'm playing about with, which is fun. What else? One other thing, which is what I'm chatting about today, is Stephen Wolfram of Wolfram Alpha, of half doing your physics homework, half doing your maths homework, has released what he thinks might be a theory of everything. So I'm starting on the path to try and understand it and work out if it is that, and if I need to be learning a bunch of stuff. Whoa, okay, so you didn't give another rendering above. Okay, so this makes patterns like that, which, fine. So it's not that different as a rule, but it generates a much less kind of clearly ordered thing. His theory of everything is all about rules about how graphs connect, basically, and applying those rules over and over again. That's as far as I've got. I'm working through, you can go find this online, the Wolfram Physics Project, if you are so inclined, and I'm just working through kind of the first few pages of it. I've seen some people say that it's interesting online. I've seen some people get angry at him because, how dare somebody say they have a new theory. I'm pretty agnostic on whether or not I believe it or not yet. Well, no, I believe that he's right in everything he's saying. I guess the question will just be whether or not I think it's something that I want to carry on with, and whether, I don't know, I really actually don't know how to respond to this beyond just trying to understand it. So, self-loops. So if you start with a self-loop, and you've still got our rule from before, which is xy goes to xy y z. So in a way, this rule is just extend the chain by 1. So we extend the chain by 1, extend it again. We seem to be getting basically the same pattern, just with now a loop at the beginning. Because effectively, sans the loop at the beginning, we were starting with this before. For example, this rule, the self loop takes over the system, and we get an n-gon. Let's work through that. That's cool. I find this very cool. So we have x, y, but both x and y are the same thing. So when we add the node, this is going back to numbers. 0 goes to 0. Then we want, instead of that, 0 goes to a new thing that we put in the middle, 1, that thing goes to the old thing, 0. And then the next one we're going to have, we've got 0 goes to 1, becomes 1 goes to 2, goes to 0. The numbers, by the way, don't have to be sequential or anything, they're just labels. And over here we have 1 goes to 0, so that's going to be 0 goes to 3 goes to 1. So yeah, indeed, we're going to keep on swapping the order and doubling each time the radius. Rule can contain self-loops. So this is saying if the rule is about self-loops, if the rule is x goes to x, then the new rule is that y goes to y, I'm sorry, this is just what this looks like. Y goes to y, and x goes to y. And then this produces a true binary tree, as in it splits every time, so that you could see if I circle the same node every time, let's say this node becomes this node becomes this node, and this node becomes this node. So basically each time one of these nodes becomes the seat of the next two. Rules can involve several copies of the same relation corresponding to multi-edges in a graph. Simple example is the rule xy goes to x to z, x to z, y to z. So what we'd have next, we're going to get a lot of edges pretty quickly here. 0 to 2, 0 to 3 twice, and 2 to 3. It's going to do that again, but I think we need to give it a different name this time, so we're going to get 0 to 4, 0 to 4, 2 to 4, so this is probably 2, and we've got 1 to 2 is going to turn into 1 to 5, 1 to 5, 2 to 5. We've not got the same graph that they have, but they started with a self loop, so they're in a different initial condition. If we started with a self loop, we get 0 to 0 goes to 0 to 1, 0 to 1, 0 to 1, goes to 0 to 1 goes to 0 to 2 twice, which 1 goes to as well. 0 to 1 goes to 0 to 3 twice, which 1 goes to, and 0 to 1 goes to 4 twice, which 1 goes to. So yeah, we get that. Let me start getting shapes like this. Rules can destroy multi-edges. So I haven't been looking too carefully at these numbers. I just trust them for the moment. I don't see any huge relevance quite yet. So x to y goes to x to z, z to w, and y to z. Again, he starts with a loop, so let's start with a straight line for the kind of comparison case. So we've got 0 to 1 goes to 0 to 2, 2 to 3, 1 to 2. Then 0 to 2 goes to 0 to 4, 4 to 5, 5 to 6, 2 to 4. 1 to 2 goes to 1 to 6, 6 to 7, 2 to 7, and 2 to 3 goes to, I'm going to put it over here, so this is 8, 9, 3. So can I find a better way to draw that? We've got a straight line, got then we've still got that, but now this is also going, oh wait, this should go to there, and this should go to there. Boop, boop. I think we'll just keep on getting this shape, won't we? So that's 3 going to 8. So if we draw it like this, seems like an okay shape. What happens when we start with 0, with a loop? Let's just check those first few steps. Be interesting to see if I start getting quicker at these. So we start with 0 to 0. Fine. We want to turn that into 0 to 1, 1 to 2, and 0 to 1. So indeed we get to that. 0 to 1 goes to 0 to 3, 3 to 4, and 1 to 3. 0 to 1 goes to 0 to 5, 5 to 6, and 1 to 5. And 1 to 2 goes to 1 to 7, 7 to 8, and 2 to 7. So that's 0, with both things coming out. This is 1, both things coming out. 5 and 6 and 3 and 4 are the same, and then we've got this little, this is 2 to 7 to 8. So yeah, it destroys a multi-edge. Well, can I get that back? The multi-edge was 0 to 1, and now it's split a multi-edge. I wouldn't say it's destroyed it. This multi-edge has grown. Well, we'll see. Blah, 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 blah. No, no, no. Okay, so now we get to 3 elements. So this is what was kind of escaping me about that's the introduction. Consider 1 to 2 to 3, 3 to 4 to 5. So we're just adding here intermediary states, which right now, I'm going to put it out there. I should probably start numbering from 5 because that's what they seem to be doing. End up looking like this, or in his language, 1 to 3 to 5. That should be a 4. But maybe at some point something's going to happen to the thing hanging out here quietly in 2. So this might be about to become relevant. Everything's still ordered. We need things on the hyperedge. Let's just draw this out before we see it. 1 to 1 to 1 is just going to be 1. Still don't have a good way to draw a hyperedge. I'm going to draw a line through the middle. Yeah, I quite like that. 1 to 2 to 3. And 3 to 4 to 4. Maybe that's fine. Maybe that's why I'm drawing it by hand. And that is indeed what it looks like. Oh, they've drawn it with 2 single loops. I guess that makes sense. So let's just try this one in our heads. And by in our heads, I mean very much not in our heads. X to Y to Z linked goes to X to Y to W linked, and Y to W to Z linked. So let's try that a few steps with some numbers. We start with 0 to 1 to 2. Got to give them enough space that we can actually draw linking lines. 0 to 1 to 2, linked, goes to 0 to 1 to a new number, linked, and then also 1 to that new number, to 2, linked. And then that will go from, we can't do anything, we can only transform hypersurfaces, so this rule doesn't tell us anything about these individual surfaces, but we can transform the whole hypersurface. So the whole hypersurface, hypergraph, whatever, they're just words, I'm just making them up as I go. Goes from 0 to 1 to 4, linked. Whilst at the same time going to 1 to 4 to 3, linked. 1 to 3 goes, no, sorry, we've done that whole hypersurface, now we're just going to do this whole hypersurface. 1 to 3 to 2 goes from 1 to 3 to 5, linked, and 3 to 5 to 2, linked. So if we try to draw this a little bit more clearly, we'd have bump, bump, link, bump, bump, link, bump, bump, link, bump, bump, link. So we're kind of just adding in another one of this shape each time, or just doubling the numbers of this shape. Now, okay, yeah, with the dots here. Let's try this again, but with one of these linked. 0 to 0 to 1. Oh, that's not bad. 0 to itself and to 1, and they're linked. You know what? We need a better way of drawing this, so I'm going to say that that, they're linked here. So 0 to 0 goes to 0 to 0 to 2, linked. Well, this is useful. You can actually write it out like this in the meantime, because this is equivalent to 0 to 0 to 1, at least under this transformation. These two are the same. So that's the 0 to 0 link, and then 0 to 1 goes. Doesn't matter which 0 from, as long as we collect them all together at the end. 0 to we're doing this one. 0 to 2 to 1 link, which, if we write it with rounding notation, we've got 0 going out and back to itself to 2, and 0 to 1, I think it looks substantially different. Let's see what nice Mr. Wolfman gives us. So if we start with a double loop, great. If we just keep going, we get to that. So this is x is just itself. Then we've got, okay, actually x goes to y, and y is itself twice. Because for each one we create 2 copies of it. No, wait, for each one we link to the next thing, and then we loop it twice. And we're leaving this be because there's 0 loops around it. Okay. Rules depending on more than one relation. Let's try it presenting this graphically to kind of see the problem before we get there. So 0 to 1. Okay, so we've got two things in a denominator here, and 1 to 2. would go to 0 to 1 seems fine. 0 to 2, W is 2. 1 to 2. Oh, sorry. Y is 3. 2 to 3. Seems okay. Yep, so now Z is hitting W. Alright, let's do the next one. Let's do it in X, Y, and Z. X to Y and X to Z goes to Y, X to W, Y to W, Z to W. Now, we're looking for places where there's two things leaving one place. So that's still just the X. None of these other ones fit the form that we're transforming. So X, we're going to make the same thing but with W as Z. Okay, so X to Y stays as X to Y. This goes as X to alpha. Y goes to alpha. W goes to alpha. Y still goes to W. We haven't done anything about that rule. Z still goes to W. So 2 is Z. 1 is X. No, I've got something wrong here. Oh no, 2 is Y. What's it doing over there? What the hell? I disagree, Mr. Wolfram. I don't think this is consistent. So X should attach to Y and W. 1 does not attach to 2. So 2 is Z in this. And Y is 3. No. Yeah, Y is 3. Right now. I'm confused by this one. I don't know if I believe it. X to Y. X to W. Y to W. Z to W. What am I on? Will this actually get to you if I tweet at you? So, let's try working this out really carefully, what I would expect this to be. So if I had 1 to 2 to 3, I would expect to get 1 to 2. Let's offset this very slightly so that I can kind of draw it more easily. 1 to 2, also to 3. I'd expect to get 1 to 2. Both to 4. And then 3 comes in. Oops, did not mean to click that, but okay, let's try doing it really same size as they have. 1, 2, 3. One, 2, 4, 3, and then over here it's only 1, 2 and 4 that we're going to do anything with, so we've still got 1, 2, 5. 1 also goes to 5. Four also goes to 5. Two still goes to 4. 3 still goes to 4. So if I treat y as free, well, I would get the same thing. I get 2 over there, but I wouldn't. Two to 5. 4 to 5. It's 2. 1 to 5, 2 to 5. 4 to 5. Yep. Screenshot button work reliably? Oh, it does. Copy to clipboard. Let's also open up the forum. Forum seems to be overloaded. That's always good news. While I'm here, let's see if there's things that are too complicated for me to apply to. Yeah, I want to apply for this. Should probably do that over here. Why does it make me give my phone address? Am I wrong about this? Maybe I am. I'm very bad at typing. No, actually, I wasn't born in April 2020. Got to attach a file. God, all applications are made so heavy. Makes me want to cry sometimes. I should keep doing stuff on stream rather than writing an application that's a long thing. I'm just wondering, can I just get this done and then never have to think about it? Cool, I have to agree to them. Having all my data. Sorry, I was getting distracted with something else. I'm going to come back and do this instead. Did it manage to open up the forums? Do I know this? Oh, I actually know a thing. It's so rare for me to know my own passwords. Just one sec, and then I'll go back to can I not post images? Copy image, paste. Should I just save it as a JPEG? Will it become a JPEG? Who knows, really, how the internet works? There we go. Select post type. Asking a question. Cool. Thank you for sticking around with me while I do that. Hey Lewis. I'm working out if Stephen Wolfram has come up with a theory of everything. So far, I think maybe, honestly. So I'm a little suspicious of this one. Let's just check if anything else checks out. So you should then be able to do it on 1 and 3 and maybe 4 and 5. I'm just not sure this is that rule. X equals 1, Y equals 2, Z equals 3. Yep. X equals 1. Y equals 3, Z equals 4. Don't you have to do it on... No, because... what does key and short mean? This is complicated enough. But I don't need whatever this is. No, go for it. Live your life. Okay, so if I take those ones, I get a different thing than if I take these ones. Let's just work those out. Just really carefully make it sure. We've got 4, which we're just going to leave alone. 1, 2, and 3, which if we take 1, 2, 3 as the things, the 4 is still just going to be connected to the 1. Then y equals 2, so 1 to 2. To 3, no, to 5. Okay, is that what I get? 1, 2, 3. Okay, so they've. Yeah, again, that is incorrect, I think. So it was 1 to 2. The whole page seems to have just sort of gotten a bit garbled. Okay, so we can actually get to what they get if we. No, don't do that. Is that the right size? Yeah. If we swap 2 and 3, which we are fine to do, we just got to change the definitions. Then we've got 2 here, 3 here. But if we take one of the z's as z, obviously, so one of the 4's as z, then we've got 1 to 4 is the same. 1 to 2 is not going to be touched. By their definition, we've got 1 to 3, 3 to 6, 3 to 5. No, 1 to 3, 3 to 5. 1 to 5 and 4 to 5. No, because we've. Okay, this page is just very wrong. If we instead take z as the y, which fine to do, I guess. 1, 2 is still out on its own. Z is y, then we keep the old 1 to 4. We get the new 1 to 4. 4 goes to 5. 1 goes to 5. 3 goes to 5. I think. Yeah. Okay. So let's check if this works if we switch the rule over. make that x to z. Can we do a nice thing where we actually, yeah, x to z, x to w. Is this what we need? That's wrong. Z goes to w. Y goes to w. So now that first step makes sense. Then it's this one where we're going to put in, still goes to 4, which is z, z goes to 5. Is that fine now? Getting to that brain boggled bit of the day. So x still goes to z, x also goes to w, z goes to w, and y goes to w, and everything else is the ones we had from before. If we take 3, 1, 2, then we turn that into, let's say we do it the old way, then we should get 1 to 2, 2 to 4, 1 to 4, 3 to 4. Then we should get 1 to 2 to 5, 1 to 5. Still keep the 2 to 4 and have the 4 to 5. And the 3 to 4. It's 2 to 5, 2 to 5. compared to if we do it, so keeping the same things and in the same place. If it's 3, 1, 2, and we use this method, well, we get exactly what was put out there. But if we use the old method where 3 is x, is y, so we get 1, 3 to 4, 1 to 4, and 2 to 4. And then we get 1 to 3 to 5 to 5. 3 is still going to go to 4. 4 is going to go to 5. And 2 is still going to go to 4. So then we end up with still not that. But if we take that method, so the transitiveness of this is strange to me. 3, 1, 2. Going to take 2 as y. So we go 1 to 3, 1 to 4, 3 to 4, 2 to 4. It's 1, 3, 4. So we're going to go 1, 2. 3. No, it's still not going to make it. 1 to 3. Cool. We got it. Still can't post it that way. Okay. Mystery solved. Now I can carry on with this. Okay, this seems like a worrying thing that we're just moving past, but fine. Okay, so if there is multiple, a K-array relation as he calls it, if there are multiple different conditions, we may no longer find anything that satisfies those conditions. We need a free edge and a two edge. We get a free edge and a two edge. I'm just going to trust this one actually. Oh, interesting. Oh no, let's work this through. This seems cool. Because we do get to an endpoint. So we're going to start with a loop and then 0. And then 2 loops in a surface. So U is 0. We're going to go from this to next to 0. To some new number, 1. That's now a surface. We're going to go from Z to Y. Okay, and that's what they've got there. Then we're going to take that surface. This is the last really ugly one, I think. That surface that goes X to Y to Z is now going to go 0 to 0 to just a new number. One of these 0 to 0s is going to go now go from 1 to this, and we also go from 1 to this. That's our surface. So we still have a loop? Yeah, we still have a loop because one of those ones we haven't touched. So that's this one. You know what? I trust them. Let's call it reduces. I should work through that sometime, but I think I'm kind of running out of steam for today. I'll probably stop at 3:30 anyway. Okay, so we can have loops that break connectedness. And then we'll start making sets, effectively. We just add a loop somewhere each time. So we take that, we add a loop. Okay, so this is what you get from this one. This x to y goes to y to y, which we've already got. No. So it goes from y to y and then x to z. Why is that what you get? Because this is x to x. So that should go to x to x and x. Oh, because... So I think it's maybe a mistake to ever put a loop, because this is actually better expressed as x to x, which goes to x to itself and x to some new thing. Because this is x on a loop, which is the same as x on a loop, goes to c. I thought I was creating a complex and confusing form of new geometrical calculus, which I am. Because that loop, which goes from x, wait, yeah, how does this happen? X to y, it goes to xx and z to x. Then we've got x to y here. So x to x. There's a lot of ambiguity in here. How does it split? So we start with x to y. We go to x to itself and to z. Then x to itself goes to x to itself and to z. X to z goes to x to itself and to w. I'm a bit confused by the splitting. That might be a sign that I've actually missed something in how this works. Okay. It goes from 2 to 2 to 4 to 2. Involves 5 distinct elements. Okay, that doesn't seem to be written in the rule, but that's fine. Okay, these switch into numbers. Fine. Wait, are these the same? Right, let's see. So these are new. Neither of these are on the left hand side. Similarly, yep, we're just creating some link over here. New. Oh yeah. One here behaves like 4 here. Okay, yeah. No, I believe these are the same. Enough that I'm not going to check anymore. From the canonical form, it's possible to define a single integer to represent the rule. It is 1 2 3 4 4 5 3 3 2 4 3 5. Okay, this looks cool, but I'm out of energy. let's go back to section 3 as kind of where we are, and I'm going to stop there for the day. I might turn up this evening to play a game of some kind. Still loving Disco Elysium, and I picked up Total War 3 Kingdoms yesterday. Gave myself a day off, and plan on playing some more of that, so maybe I'll play that on stream. But we'll see when we see. Thanks so much for joining, guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Vote for Total War. Noted.